We're diving into a story about what happens when the ultimate promise gets broken. It's a real high-stakes drama from the book of Exodus, all about betrayal, second chances, and the messy business of fixing a relationship with God. So let me ask you, what do you do when you've broken the most important agreement of your life? That's exactly where the Israelites find themselves after the whole golden calf fiasco. The real question is, how do you even start to clean up a mess that big? Especially when the other party is, God himself.
All right, so picture this. We're at the foot of Mount Sinai. The Israelites have their bags packed, they're ready to head to the Promised Land, but their journey is about to come to a screeching halt.
And this is where the tension just skyrockets. God tells them, yep, you're still getting the land, the one flowing with milk and honey. I'll even send an angel ahead of you. But then, the bombshell. But I will not go with you. He basically explains that their rebellion is so toxic, his holy presence would literally destroy them. So they get the prize, but they lose the relationship. And that changes everything.
You can just imagine how this news lands. It's absolutely crushing. The people are just gutted. And we're not talking about a few sniffles here. This is a huge public wave of grief and a collective what have we done moment.
So they're told to take off their ornaments. In their culture, that was a big public symbol of mourning. But get this, there's a really powerful layer here. These were the exact same gold ornaments they'd used to build the golden calf. So taking them off wasn't just about being sad. It was a physical act of saying, we reject what we did.
So the people are grieving, the future is totally up in the air, and this is where one man steps into the breach. The fate of an entire nation is now riding on the shoulders of Moses.
Now, Moses' relationship with God is on a whole different level. He actually pitches a special tent outside the camp just to talk with God. And the way they talk is described as being face-to-face, like a person speaking to a friend. It's incredibly intimate. And that unique connection, it's about to become everything.
And here is where Moses does something incredibly gutsy. He doesn't just beg for another chance, he argues with God. He basically says, look, if you don't come with us, what's the point? What makes us any different from anyone else? It's not the land, it's your presence. That's the thing that defines us.
And it works. But God doesn't just say, okay, fine, I'll go. He does something even bigger. He decides to lay his cards on the table to show Moses and all of us who he is, right at his very core.
God himself comes down and declares his own character. It starts with this incredible wave of compassion, grace, love, and faithfulness. But listen closely because it doesn't stop there. He also includes a very serious warning.
So you see what's happening here? It's this incredible balance. On one hand, you have this deep well of mercy and forgiveness, but on the other, there's this unshakable commitment to justice. Bad deeds aren't just swept under the rug. Actions have real consequences. It's not one or the other, it's both.
Okay, so the relationship is back on track. God has revealed who he is. What's next? Well, you gotta fix the paperwork, so to speak. The original contract, the stone tablets, was literally smashed to pieces. It's time to make a new one.
And the way they do it is really symbolic. This time, God tells Moses to carve the tablets himself. Think about that for a second. God made the first set, but for this second chance, humanity has a hand in rebuilding. Then it's back up the mountain for another 40 days where God writes the 10 Commandments all over again.
But this isn't just hitting copy-paste on the old deal. This new version comes with some updates. You can think of them as guardrails. These practical, everyday rules designed to make sure the people don't swerve off the road and back into idol worship again.
And here's where it gets really fun. One of those ancient guardrail laws has a surprisingly direct impact on our world today in a way you would probably never guess.
Out of all the rules, one of them sounds, well, kind of random, doesn't it? Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. I mean, what is that about? Why on earth would that be a command?
Well, there were a couple of big reasons. First, the local Canaanite tribes actually did this as part of a pagan magic ritual. So this was a clear line in the sand, we don't do that. But there's also a deeper idea, a respect for the natural order. You don't take the substance that gives life, milk, and mix it with the death of the animal it was supposed to nourish.
And here's the mind-blowing part. That one single ancient rule, it's the direct origin of the Jewish dietary law that says you can't mix meat and dairy products. That whole tradition of keeping kosher, it all starts right here.
And the modern-day result of this is wild. Because of that law from thousands of years ago,
If you walk into a kosher McDonald's or Burger King in Israel today, you cannot buy a cheeseburger. It's not on the menu. An ancient command from a mountain in the desert is still shaping fast food menus today. How crazy is that?
And so the story comes full circle. Moses comes back down the mountain, he's got the new tablets, the relationship is restored, but something is different. He's different. His face is literally shining, radiant from being in God's presence. So bright, in fact, that it scares the people. They can't even look directly at him.
That radiant face, it's this powerful, visible sign of everything he's been through. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? We might not come down from our own mountains, our own crises and moments of renewal with our faces literally glowing. But how do those profound experiences leave their mark on us? What do we carry back down from our own mountains?